That's really rare.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of reminds me of all the Gamble and Huff records I grew up on in Philadelphia, all the OJs and stylistics where got those handbells in there. That's my man. Yeah, baby. Let's see. So, what's coming up next for you? You always working. You always got some cool stuff going on.
So this week I'm playing with I'm in a town hall, like all-star band, and we're doing the music of Bob and Mom. So very good.
Now, you got put something on.
Sorry to combine it in one word, but he's a very renowned African artist for his music, his legacy, so we're going to be doing some of his music. I'm also doing, playing the Jazz Lincoln Center block party on Saturday, so we're having a whole celebration celebrating the legacy that Marcellus has built.
Nice. And what's the band that you're playing with?
The band that I'm playing with is actually they're an Indian brass band. Red Barat. That leads up to me a good name. So that's going on. And next week I'm meeting with do you happen to know the bassist Reggie Workman?
Are you kidding? He's from Philadelphia. That's
So,
my homie.
Yeah, so
Reggie Workman.
he's helping me record a CD at the end of July. I'm doing the music of John Coltrane and Alice Coltrane.
So, Mr. Workman's going to produce it, or?
So the concept is that I wanted the old school musicians to meet
Yes.
some of the modern jazz new young lions. So we have Reggie Workman, Charles Tolliver, Gary Bards, a lot of the greats from his time that have worked with Alice and
Yes.
and some of the greats from my time and beyond to combine us together to pay homage to the revolution that they both created as this dynamic couple.
That's amazing. Well, I urge all of you to, I want to buy it now. It ain't even ready.
You can play on it if you like.
Don't be putting stuff out there in the public if you don't mean it. What is the date? What's the session?
The session right now will be at the end of July. So we get out in Europe the 19th. That's what we're looking at. But it's flexible because we have so many amazing elder musicians that we have to accommodate their schedules. So we got
End of July.
Yeah, we gotta wait on Farrell's hit. We gotta wait on certain things.
Now, if you serious,
I'm very serious.
You heard her. You heard it. Now, if that CD comes out and I am on at least one track, I'm gonna work it out.
Okay.
You see this, right? You see this.
You're holding me to it.
I got you. End of July, we'll work out the calendars as soon as we walk off stage. Wow, it'd be an honor to work with you on that.
Yeah, it's something it's been close to my heart. I've released 2 albums of my own music, but I felt every artist at some point has to give back and contribute to somebody that's inspired them. And
Who's playing drums?
got a number of mix. We got Mr. Haynes.
Oh,
I'm serious. I got a combination of people. The lineup is so vast that I'm hoping to actually shape it down a little bit.
Fair enough. Mr. Argo, I see, I feel your presence. What does that mean?
It's time. It's time for the next group. Link Community Charter School under the direction of Mr. Zach Santiago. Let's welcome them to the stage.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Okay, so this group is called Her Voice, and it's an elective where the girls wrote their own songs and learned how to play their own instruments. So we have right here Chriselle Williams, who actually wrote the lyrics and melody for this song. So enjoy.
We have been now at Link Community School for about 10 years. And we have enjoyed the program there. It's an unusual program for us. Most of these programs are year-long residencies where we go into an existing program and we will enrich or make that program bigger or perhaps bring in an aspect of music that they don't have, such as jazz on International Jazz Day. But at Link, we actually, over the last 10 years, have worked at developing the music program. And it has really taken off, Lisa, under your direction. Tell us a little bit about, yeah, let's give her a round of applause. And the head of the school is here with us somewhere. Maria Pilar Perdicio is with us, the head of school, who really believes in the arts and has an arts program. So tell us a little bit about what you have really put together here today.
Okay, so you know, the thing that's great about Link and the relationship with Link is that they're very supportive of the arts, and it's such a big part of their integral, just their whole philosophy. And so they have performing arts as well, and art and fine arts included. So music is really encouraged. I've been able to develop other, like you saw, we had 2 electives. We had the drum elective, which is new this year. Thank you. And they just really pretty much only in 4 sessions have learned how to play stuff that people have been working on for years and years. The Her elective is also another elective that we brought that encourages girl empowerment, and so they write their own songs and they learn how to play their own instruments.
And what I love under the direction of the head of the school is that you have expanded that program, right? This year, adding the percussion and then adding her voice, etc. And so you're also a little different than other schools in that you're on a different kind of schedule, aren't you? Are you in semesters?
Yeah, so what I do is I also teach general music there along with the electives, and the general music program is, oh, there she is, Maria. And so the general music program, I meet each grade, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th for a quarter, which means 3 months about, right? 3 months is about a quarter. And then it rotates, and then I meet. And I teach 7th and 8th, I teach them piano, and I teach 5th and 6th recorders. And so that program, I want them to pretty much learn a lot of how to read, sight sing, sight read, all of that while they're playing an instrument.
Well, we feel really fortunate to have you at the Jazz House and at Link doing magnificent work you're doing. This is really great. Absolutely. And thank Link for its long support. You know, we have got this wonderful ensemble that's on stage from Oliver Street School. What I love so much about Oliver is the great Wayne Shorter. The great Wayne Shorter went to Oliver Street School. And he talks about living across the street from the school, or that was the older school that it was. And so we're going to they are looking fabulous. And I think you start to see how every band is very different, right? You had a band with a lot of violins in another group. Now you are seeing something much more of a standard, what you would think in terms of a band. And that's something that Jazz House is really proud that we do, and that's support any school where they are and what they would like to achieve. And so that is why you're seeing so many different programs. So we're going to hand it over to the wonderful multi-instrumentalist, as you heard, and he is a bassist. One of the hallmarks of the music club is that we bring in at least 2 faculty, and Justin isn't here, but usually it's in class every week, and we really feel that it's a team of 3. So it is the music teacher from that school, and then 2 instructors that we bring in that are on an instrument or have a certain skill that they're really looking for. So let's give a round of applause for Oliver, under the direction of Anthony Grimes.
Thank you so much. So we are on Oliver Street, and we're going to play a few numbers for you, and I will let the students introduce them for you and tell you who wrote them.
We are going to be performing the song The One Before This by Gene Adams and Sunny Sin.
One Okay, great. So that was Afro Blue. Who's our next announcer? Street School.
Oliver Street School, Anthony Perez. Paul Gaeta, faculty member on the back. And of course, Mr. Keisha Benjamin. One more time, Oliver Street School. All right, guys. As we get ready for the next group, now we'll bring Mr. McBride out again to talk to Mr. McMiller. You know, sometimes what's going on the stage, and you all know this as the student musicians, is a lot of creating going on. Right? A lot of spontaneity, a lot of invention going on. And sometimes creativity is messy. Sometimes it doesn't always work out exactly how we planned it, but you know what? In the end, it all turns out beautifully because these guys are up here as a support staff for each other. We're supporting from the audience, and in the end, it's a learning experience for us all. I'm not sure if you're paying attention, but they're one of the first groups, I think, and I may be wrong, to do an AABA selection and a piece in a fast 3/4 time. So that's the next level of work that we're all driving towards, right? All right, we're going to get set up in a second here for our hosts for the evening, Science Park High School. I'd like to bring out Mr. Christian McBride, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the program here, and bring out Mario McMiller, the director. Mr. McBride. Or Ms. Walker.
That was fantastic. Another round of applause. All right. I want to bring over to us, can you come over and right in the middle of the two of us here. Let's bring over Mario McMiller.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I also want to recognize that Gwen Moten is here from the mayor's office. And she is really doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing to bring arts together in Newark. And we really appreciate you coming out today. Thank you. And I also I think we did say hello, but Margaret Dale, it's just great to see you. Thank you for also, again, bringing the arts together in Newark Public Schools, Margaret Dale, and it's just great to see you as well. So, Christian and I are kind of sandwiching you here because we are just so impressed by the program that you've built. When we first met you and you came to Newark, there were 4 students in your band. I mean, talk to us a little bit about that. What do you have now? First of all, you're in this school.
Yes, Science Park High School band director. We have built not just a big band, as you'll see. We have a rock band, we have a concert band, we have a marching band, and I have a middle school group as well. And just trying to create an environment to develop. So it's been wonderful to see all the young musicians here. So we've gone from 4 to about 45 kids in the total program. So it's grown a lot.
So every single day, there's some music class.
Every single day we have rehearsals at 7:40 in the morning, and we have rehearsals in the evening until 6:30.
Wow.
Every single day. And we practiced last week on spring break for 3 days.
And it seems like the attendance is very high because this seems to be a program that they deeply love and respect. So hats off to you for creating this and creating an environment in which they look forward to driving in.
I think that is really, when we think as leaders and administrators, what you're going to hear on this stage is that kind of commitment of time. And I think when we think about the arts and what time is available, and you listen to Mario McMiller's program, I think you're going to hear what you get when you allow young people to really invest in their craft. So that's my little nudge to everybody in the leadership, because that is what's missing when we don't have that thriving. And we really see it. We're just really proud of what you've done and what you have done in this school.
Yes. Now, are you going to play at all today?
Maybe playing at the end. I think we have something at the end.
So one of the things after, you are the final ensemble, and how many ensembles is that we've had? So it's 6 schools that you've heard today, and thank you all because you've been really, really attentive for an extended concert. But we really wanted to give everybody on this stage, because they've worked hard, that chance. But after you perform this fantastical concert, we're going to invite all of the students on this stage. There'll just be a few people in the audience, I just want you to know that. We're going to invite them all up. This is the first time, a number of years ago, when Newark Public Schools used to do this, every single student would come on stage. the dancers and the you know, every musician and all the singers. So it's kind of been my dream to recreate that. So we're going to invite them all on stage. And then we have a series of awards that we will give out, you know, to some of the real tremendous stars that have just done that extra little bit. So
I would say that I'm a little biased, but the residential program of the summer workshop is the most amazing part because it is the culmination of a true connection with the cultural differences and the different aspects from the world. We have kids from all around the world, so it's a wonderful opportunity for them to play together, to speak to each other, to really exchange in that cultural experience.
So we have about 40 or 50 students that will stay on campus at Montclair State University. They're coming in this summer from Peru, Malawi, London. They're coming in from Mexico. That's just to name a few that I can think about. And they come from about 8 or 10 states. And you build this residential program. Because I'm seeing a few students back here that have been in it. So Christian, we're going to jump off the stage. We're going to hand it to you. And then he's going to come back and play.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for all you do.
was Jordan on trombone. Remember Jordan on trombone? That was Adrian on trumpet. That was Blues Brothers by the great late Frank Foster. This last number is Groove Merchant by Thad Jones, and we will be featuring our wonderful, 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 yeah, absolutely, Miss Benjamin on saxophone, as well as the great Christian McBride on bass.
grab your instruments and get ready for the finale. Everybody up to the stage. You should have been coming up already. All right. How about another hand? Let's do it. New York appearance. John F. Kennedy School. Let's hear it for John F. Kennedy School. Rafael Hernandez School. Abington School. Link Community Charter School. Everybody's tired. Like we're tired of hearing anybody. Oliver Street School. And then obviously our host, Science Park High School. Melissa kind of gave away a little bit of the surprise, but we're going to keep going with it. While the students get ready for their finale, we reached out Sam Cudman. By the way, Sam, come up here a second. Come up here a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce a young man who is central to things going well at the Jazz House and events like tonight happening with as few bumps in the road as possible. He's my right hand, an associate for music and education at the Jazz House, Mr. Sam Cudman. Please, a round of applause for him. Absolutely. So he and I decided this year, like Melissa said earlier, this is my first Newark Public Schools showcase on this side of the fence, actually. I did have the privilege of being a music teacher for the Newark Public Schools for 12 years, 2000 to 2012, at Arts High School. So I did have the experience on this side. Yes, that's right, our time, thank you very much. But we decided to also recognize some unspoken and less than often spoken heroes in the schools. And we reached out to the teaching artists, we reached out to the faculty, and we wanted them to try to recognize some of the outstanding students in the schools during this process. So if you don't mind, we've put together some certificates, some awards for the members of the music club. And when your names are called, I know you guys, hey guys, come on out to the stage, come on. You gotta come out. Teachers, I need you to shepherd your students. There's a lot of moving parts, guys. Thank you for your patience with this. Is he doing Science Park? Okay. By the way, our photographer, Mr. Richard Conley, is here. Each ensemble is having a picture taking on the foyer steps after their performance. That's where Science Park is now. And upon their return, we'll begin our finale and awards. Come on out, guys. Science Park, come on out. We're going to take a spot on the stage. Is he back there? Yeah, please. If you guys don't mind being a part of this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's have silence on the stage right now. Thanks, guys. I know it's tough not to play with your instrument in front of you. Students of all the schools, here's what's going to happen. I am going to call your name if your teacher has chosen you for one of the awards. Hold on one second. Here's what I'd like you to do, though. You're going to come up to the front. You're going to accept the award, but you're going to give it right back to us. And here's why. I don't want you walking back to your spot with an award and your alto saxophone and you got to go play. So receive the award. We're going to take a nice picture. And then after the picture, please give the award back. We'll make sure your teacher has it at the end of the night, okay? Guys, come on out to the stage. We need all the musicians, not off stage, on stage, because we want to make this happen. They're here. So the teachers and we work together to recognize the following areas: most improved, most dedicated, best performer, and or best improviser. In some cases, they were the same student. Okay? Okay, so here we go. From John F. Kennedy School. That's not the order I have. You tell me the order. Oliver Street School. Is Oliver Street School on the stage? Is Oliver Street School on the stage? I need somebody from Oliver Street to give me a yay or nay. I see some students. In theory, this was a really good idea. Oliver Street is here? All right, here we go. Please don't play. Please don't play. Thank you. I know the temptation. I know it. I'm a bass trombonist. I'm constantly playing away. Thank you for the silence. Here we go. Oliver Street School. You have been recognized as the best improviser. And the award goes to Sophia Letman. Come on up, Sophia. Where's Sophia? Come on, Sophia, she is. Come on up.
She's working her way.
She's coming.
All right, go on in. And Sophia, here you are.
The next award goes to... Did you take a picture while I call them?
Yep, we'll bring them all up.
Here we go. The next award goes to the most dedicated, and that is Samuel Moraes. Samuel. Come on up. The next award goes to the most improved, and that is Tanya Espinosa. As Tanya comes up, in addition to recognizing the students, we also want to recognize the administrators and the leaders of the building for their collaboration. We are guests in their house when we come in for our weekly music club visits. So for Oliver Street School, we would like to recognize them. And I know that they were supposed to be here, and I'm not sure if they've left because I've been in the backstage. But the principal, Mr. Douglas Petty, and Vice Principal, Ms. Cheryl Avramidez. Are they here? If you're here, please come up and get your award. They're not here, Mr. Gator. Okay. Here's the award winners from Oliver Street School. One more round of applause. Who's next? All right. What's the next school? What's the next school you got? Yeah, have them. We're going to give them back. Who's next, Melissa?
Okay. And Rafael Hernandez.
Rafael Hernandez. Your teachers have selected the following students. Most improved. Rafael Hernandez, I got you. Jaden Garcia. Come on up, Jaden. Oh, Jaden got a ride home early from mom and dad. It is a school night. I appreciate you, Jaden. Most dedicated, Akoya Rodriguez. She went home? Well, they're both home because they're dedicated young students, and we'll just make sure that they get their certificates. What's the next school, Melissa? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I don't think she's here, but we also want to recognize their principal, and she's new to the school, and it was a great growing process together, and maybe she is here, but I'm not sure. If you are, please come on up. Miss Natasha Pered, principal, leader of distinction. She here? She probably drove the kids home. Abington Avenue, where are you? I know Abington's in the house. Here we go. Your teachers have selected the following students. Most improved, Justin Camacho. And he plays trombone. Where are you? Most dedicated, Rain Allen. Best improviser, Hillary Sayesteros. And we would like to recognize the leadership team at Abington Avenue as well. Principal, Mr. Nelson Ruiz. Chief Innovation Officer, Mr. Alejandro Echeverria. And a young lady who, I sent an email about, dear Ms. Hines, we need the following. Click, I hit click, and I have it before I take my finger off the keyboard. Ms. Sandy Hines, Vice Principal at Abington Avenue School. Come on up, Sandy. Come on up. And those are award winners from Abington Avenue. We'll take a picture together. Kathleen. Who's next, Melissa? Link Community Charter School. Ms. Santiago has recognized the following students from Link. Most dedicated drummer. I hope I get these names correctly because I guess it was a tough decision for Ms. Santiago. She has recognized some of you. Here we go. Please hold your applause to the end. Kristen Badu, Adeola Lowe, Belinda Evra, Destina Tom Jones, and Lindsay Calixta. Most veterans. Smile. One more time. Krista Badu, Adeola Lowe, Belinda Evra, Destiny Tom Jones, and Lindsay Calixta. I like that theme music too. The following students have received awards for most dedicated choir members, and they are Kalia Epitome, Anaya Epitome, Shanice Harrison, Abigail Laani, Jada Badu, and Kendra Badu. Most dedicated choir members. Kalia Epitome, Anaya Epitome, Shanice Harrison, Abigail Laani, Jada Badu, and Kendra Badu. Ms. Santiago has also recognized one more student, and as she mentioned earlier, those students created their own selections, right? They were composers as well. And she's got a distinction here for Best Songwriter, and that goes for Chriselle Williams. Way down there, Chriselle. And then we would also like to recognize and thank through certificates of Leaders of Distinction for Miss Kathleen Hester, the principal, and the head of the school, Miss Maria Pilar Paradiso. If she's here, please come on up and receive the certificates. This is a wide angle shot. Thank you, Link Community Charter School. Please hand in your certificates. We'll get them back again. Who's next, Melissa? Who's next? Science Park? Yes. Science Park, we would like to recognize and thank, again, for being gracious hosts as well as our partnership, the Leader of Distinction certificate to the principal, Ms. Kathleen Tierney. Is Ms. Tierney here with us still? Maybe not. But we will make sure she gets her certificate. Melissa, who's next? JFK? Is that a yes? John F. Kennedy School is next. Your teachers and teaching artists have recognized the following. Most improved vocalist, Malaysia Sevilla. Most dedicated vocalist, Isaiah Floyd, or Asia Floyd. Asaya. Come on, 99% of the way there, man. Right? Best performer vocalist, Cliff DeSella. Most dedicated instrumentalist, Makai Roberts. And the most improved instrumentalist, Derek DJ Scott. DJ has to go home.
No, he's there.
We would like to thank Principal. Oh, DJ's here.
Yes, he is.
He didn't go home. You should hear DJ sing too. Our principal partners there, leader of distinction to Miss Jill Summers Phillips, who I know could not be here this evening, and vice principal Miss Shakisha McCrae. I do think there is another gentleman here from JFK School. Is that correct? Am I wrong in assuming that? He left. Okay. Well, thank you for coming. What do you got left, Melissa? We got one big one, right? Oh, we got a photo to take with JFK. I'm sorry. Last but not least. So, before I became Senior Director of Music and Education for the Jazz House Kids, I had the dubious pleasure of being the Supervisor of Music for a district not too far from here, the Elizabeth Public Schools. And I was there for 6 years. And that's 38 schools, 28,000 students, 86 staff members that I oversaw for 6 years. And I had a secretary that I shared with my visual arts supervisor. We would like to recognize this evening a young lady who I've known for years. We were colleagues in arts high school. She later became supervisor of visual art and then has increased the depth and breadth of her leadership, and now is special assistant to the visual performing arts for the Newark Public Schools. And this young lady literally does it all on her own. How she remains sane and positive and maintains the livelihood of her creative being is beyond me. Someday she may share her secret sauce, and maybe she'll make her retirement will be selling that for something. But she's an inspiration to me for sure. We had a little bit of a hiccup a couple of weeks ago with the transportation gaffe, and before the day was over, it was taken care of. And this is who she is, and I'm privileged to call her an associate, a colleague, and a friend. We would like to thank Miss Margaret L. for everything she's done. Please come on up. Come on up, please.
Yes.
Yeah, please. Chris, you count this off? You count this off? All right. Let's get a picture with Margaret. It's the truth. It's the truth.
All right.
Thanks so much. We'll be at a meeting next week. Absolutely.
So, we are at the finale. Can we please give a round of applause again for Dennis Arkle, Sam Cutman, Candice Reyes, Abby Aska, and who else is here? But just the fantastic team at Jazz House Kids. They just bring it every single day for kids in districts of Newark, Elizabeth, so many others every day at the Jazz House. And all matter of fact, we've got another performance happening this evening. We were at WBGO. So we're just really proud of this team. I want to thank you so much, Lakeisha, for being our guest. I'd like to ask the faculty to come forward and just step forward. I just want to thank our faculty and give a recognition to all of our music instructors. Can you just come forward right up here? We're going to take one last bow. They deserve it. They do the hard work each and every day. Come forward. And if I could please, our faculty, the music instructors at every school, can you come on out?
Thanks for being a great audience. Thanks for coming out. Please share this news. 1 year from now, we'll be back. Invite your friends. Thanks very much. Good night.